Hello and welcome to the Daily Meal for Tuesday, the 7th of December 2021. Today's Millwall news, we've got this interview with Danny McNamara, which we're going to start off with from news@den.co.uk. And let's see what they have to say. Millwall's Danny Mac on bouncing back against Birmingham City and club skipper's influence. Danny McNamara dismissed the notion there was any extra pressure on Millwall after they hadn't won in 4 games before the visit of Birmingham City to the Den on Saturday. The Lions produced one of their best displays of the season as they defeated Lee Bowyer's Blues 3-1 and probably should have won by more. It was the first time this campaign they had scored more than 2 goals in the league and their first win by more than a goal. Millwall had drawn 3 games 1-1 before a disappointing 2-1 defeat at Hull City side they would have expected to beat in the previous weekend. The Lions seemed determined to atone for that loss as they tore into Birmingham, going 2-0 up through Murray Wallace and Tom Bradshaw in the first half before Troy Deeney pulled a goal back after the break. McNamara set up George Evans for the third as Gary Rowett side closed to within 3 points of 6th position. McNamara felt it was one of the Lions' best displays of the season. It was up there, yeah. The gaffer came in at the end and said it was one of our best games, McNamara said. I don't think there was any extra pressure. We know as a team what we can do. The championship's very up and down. Anyone can beat anyone. Our results hadn't gone our way over the previous 4 games, but we showed on Saturday we can bounce back from that, and that we're a top side. We were very good against Bournemouth. We should have probably got 3 points from that game. The first half for Hull wasn't great. The second half we were a lot better and could have gone on to get more from that game, but it wasn't one of our best performances. To bounce back from Hull and get 3 points against Birmingham was massive for us. Hopefully we can push on from that now. With Danny Ballard and Ryan Leonard out injured, Alex Pearce came on for his first league appearance of the season. Despite his lack of minutes, the club's captain's importance was emphasised by McNamara. McNamara said he's so influential on the pitch and off the pitch. He's just a top guy to have in the change room. I can't say a bad word about him. He's funny. He's a good character. He demands a lot, which is good. And if you're not doing it right, he'll let you know as well. I get on really well with Piercy, and I can learn a lot from him. He gives me good advice. He's a top lad to have around. You probably won't find many like him in the game. And you can read a longer interview with Danny McNamara in this Thursday's print edition of Southwark News, where he discusses being out of the team and an injury to a rival for his position. That could mean he has new competition for his place in January. So if you want to read that, you can pick up the copy of Southwark News, or you can go onto the Southwark News website, and there is an ability to read a digital edition for free on their website, so you can do that. Moving on now to this story from the londonnewsonline.co.uk, which is South London Press's online website, and it's basically someone's asked Gary Rowett, which the thing that I was speculating on over 2 weeks ago, or over a month ago, in November, when Leyton Orient played their first FA Cup game, and Alex Mitchell wasn't involved, but he played in the game before and he played in the game after. So it's obvious that Millwall had not given him permission to play in the FA Cup because they didn't want him to be cup tied in case he had to come back from Millwall. Now, I speculate that might be because they were planning on recalling him, because we have had a lot of injuries to our defenders. I mean, Murray Wallace has been out, Hutchinson's been out, Ballard's now out with knee surgery till March, and Rowett's saying, well, he's going to come back in March, but that remains to be seen. Yeah, so we've had all these injuries to defenders, so I imagine they've just said, sorry Leyton Orient, you can't play him in the FA Cup because he might be coming back to us and we might need him to play in that, so you're not allowed to play him. But we've actually got that, so I was speculating on that, but we've actually got a quote here from Gary Rowett. Someone asked him what's up with that, because they did it again in the second round, and then they got drawn in the third round to they're away to Stoke City in the third round, so that's going to be a tough game for them, but it's a winnable game. It's a winnable game. Now our game, we're playing Premier League Crystal Palace at home. Now they're Premier League, but that's not going to be any fear for us, but that is a game that the odds would say that we might possibly lose that game. So you could have a situation where Leyton Orient play in the 4th round of the FA Cup and we do not. So what happens then? Does he? You would imagine that he would be allowed to play then, if he's still there, because that will be in late January, I believe. So we will see. So what did Gary Rowett say? Millwall manager Gary Rowett has admitted that they did not want Alex Mitchell to be ineligible to play for them in the FA Cup, while with the on-loan defender not featuring for Leyton Orient in the competition. The 19-year-old centre-back has made 13 appearances in League Two for the O's and only being on the losing side once. Mitchell was handed his debut for the Lions in the EFL Cup against Cambridge in late August, just before being cleared to join Leyton Orient. The East London club are managed by Kenny Jackett, who has a lengthy and successful spell in charge of the Lions. Asked about Mitchell's absence from the O's FA Cup side, which beat Tranmere 4-0 on Saturday in the second round, Rowett told the South London Press, "We just wanted to leave that option. We spoke to Kenny the other day. We had a good conversation. He's really pleased with Alex, and it is about where we see him after January. The plans at the moment are not to recall him, but we need to leave that open. If we do get some injuries, do call him back, and then he isn't available for the FA Cup. It doesn't make any sense. We felt it was better to give ourselves that opportunity if required. The intention for all the loan players is hopefully they stay out and play football, but you have to leave that little leeway. If we bring a player back and they sit on the bench for 4 months or are not in our squad, then how does that help his development? We want to open that pathway to our first team, and that pathway is to play games in the lower divisions and see how they develop. Ideally, we don't want to bring them back to just be selfish and have cover. As I've said before, in Danny McNamara's case, he came back with a strong chance to play, then it's a different conversation. We'll make a good decision for the player and the long-term future." But what I said in the video that I made about Alex Mitchell possibly being recalled was he could be recalled by us in January. He could come back and play for us in January, and we could loan him back to Leyton Orient the day the transfer window closes. We can do that again. Or I imagine, is there the loan window? Is there another loan window that goes past the transfer window? I'm not too sure. They keep changing it. It's freaking hard to keep up. But we could loan him back out to them. And like I said in the video I made, I believe there was a rule that brought in that you can only play for 2 clubs in the same calendar year. So you can't just keep loaning players out to different clubs. But we could bring him back. He could play for us. So he's already played for us. So he's played for Millwall in the EFL Cup. So that counts as one of his clubs. He's played for Leyton Orient. So now he's kind of locked in. He can only play for Millwall, Leyton Orient. So that's based on the old rules that they brought in after Carlos Tevez' situation, I believe. Because a lot of clubs are trying to scam other clubs. They would transfer a player, and then but they had no intention of buying. It was just a tax gimmick thing. So they would buy the player and then immediately sell them to a third team. And that was so I think it might not even be playing. It might just be registrations. You can only be registered to 2 teams. So we will see. But so they didn't let him play in the first round of the FA Cup either. So this is going on for a while now. I imagine we had someone out injured then, which probably would have been Murray Wallace. So for the first round of the FA Cup, it was probably Murray Wallace who was injured, and this for the second round that he missed, it was Danny Ballard and Ryan Leonard. So I imagine they make the decision. Sorry, you can't play. So let's move on. Isaac Olofi came off in Sutton United's 2-1 FA Cup reverse to Bristol Rovers. He had a dead leg, said Rowett. I had a text from our head of recruitment, Harvey. Him and Anuj tried to stay in touch with the players, and we watched their highlights clips, their games and progress. Tanto just had a dead leg. Hopefully he'll be available for their next game, but I haven't had an update yet. Well, he was not available for their next game because their next game was today, Tuesday the 7th, and they were away to Newport County, and they were 2-0 up, and they ended up losing 3-2. They had Craig Eastman sent off in the first half, but they were 2-0 up. David Ajiboye scored twice for them, and they ended up losing 3-2. and he didn't even make the bench. So, and they had one less substitute. So Isaac Alofi missing that game through injury, one would assume. So there you go, and it cost them. They ended up losing 3-2. But moving on, winger Tyler Burey could be set to rejoin up with Hartlepool United next week. The winger 20 had made an impressive start for the League Two side, scoring in 3 successive matches before suffering a major hamstring injury at the beginning of September. He has trained well for the best part of last week, and we want him to train this week and play a part in a game on Friday for our under-23s against Cardiff, said Rowett. If he gets through 45 minutes, well then we'll send him back to Hartlepool in the hope he can go and impact their season. He's been out a long time and it was a serious injury. We don't want to just send him back for 2 or 3 days and be irresponsible. We want to give him part of a game and be a little more confident that he is fit. Okay. So a lot to unpack there. Now, I thought our next under-23 game, the one against Cardiff, was on Tuesday the 14th at the training ground. Apparently, it's been moved forward to Friday at the Den. We'll get into that later. But I just want to share. So Alex Mitchell not playing in the FA Cup, as we've said. But he did play in their league game. So he came back in and it's reset itself. So I'll have to scroll down again and have a look. Where are we? Yeah, so they won 4-1 against Swindon Town at home at Brisbane Road. Let's have a look at the lineups. He was in the lineup. He got 6.6. And let's see what he did in that game. So he played 90 minutes. He got 1 clearance, 2 interceptions, 1 tackle, got dribbled past once, had 2 ground duels, won one of them. Had 1 aerial duel which he won, lost possession 7 times, had 38 touches, 25 out of 32 accuracy on his passing, which is 78%. Did 6 long balls, 4 of which are accurate. So there you go, that's his score. That's not one of his best games, it seems, just by looking at that stats and the low score there. He usually gets in his 7s and above. He's been quite, like the report says, he's only been on the losing team once. And he plays his part in that team, playing very well. So there you go. That's a little midweek loan watch, like I said. Isaac Alofi not involved in Sutton United's 3-2 defeat away at Newport County there. So we'll see. So he got an injury. He came off of the 6 minute of the game on the weekend, and he's missed this game as well. So just a dead leg, they said. Just a dead leg. Is it? What is it? I don't know. Just a shame, because we're coming up to the January window, and you would think, I know it's a season-long loan, but there was talk that he could be coming back because he's doing so well. If we get players going out and other players get injured, then we might have to recall players like Alex Mitchell and Isaac Alofi. If he's getting injured again as the January transfer window's coming up, that's not good. So a lot of red cards today. Just looking through all these results, a lot of red cards. It's all very weird, isn't it? Little full moon today. What's happening? 2 in the Bristol Rovers game there. Anyway, so I told you about. So they're saying Tyler Burey's going to play in the under-23 game. Like I said, that they said it was on Friday. I was like, what, Friday? It's on Tuesdays. But no, they've moved it forward. So let's have a look. So this is from millfc.co.uk. And indeed they have. Not only that, so they've moved it to Friday the 10th of December, which is this Friday in a couple of days' time. It's a 12:30 kickoff. So and it's at the Den, so you can go to this game if you wanted to go to it. Lunchtime at the Den to get in that winter light situation that's going on, where it's dark by 4 o'clock. 12:30 now. Is this a bit of gamesmanship here? So Cardfiff City, let me just share with you how utterly fantastical Cardfiff City's season has been so far. They're under 23s. So this is the league, the southern section. They played 11 games. They've won 11 games. They've scored 29 goals. It's not that many more than us. We scored 21, so only 8 more. They've only conceded 5 goals in 11 games. Well, the next best is 12, Colchester, then 14, Bristol Rovers. They are a juggernaut, an absolute steamroller, steamrolling through this league. They played yesterday and won 4-0 at home to Watford. So they're having to travel all the way from Cardiff. They got to wake up early for that. We're trying to do a bit of game management here, getting in to come down. So they played Tuesday. They're gonna have to play Friday now. Now, obviously, I'm sure they had to agree to the fixture change, but they could have said no. We don't want to do that, but they're doing it. So they've 12:30. So they're gonna have to get to London by 12 o'clock at least. So what they're gonna have to wake up at 5 o'clock, 5 a.m. to get on the coach at 6. Bit of gamesmanship here from Millwall, trying to get a win against the juggernaut in the division, moving the game to the Den as well. Now, I can't see how or why they're doing that, and the weather this week has been absolutely atrocious. Maybe they'll have to change it last minute, but as of this moment, the game is scheduled to be at the Den, so Friday lunchtime. If you're interested in that, keep an eye on that for something that you can attend. Maybe because we've got the Birmingham game and we're not going to have to play on that pitch until the Preston North End game until the 18th, so 11 days away. Maybe the pitch at the training ground is more messed up than the pitch at the Den because they're playing on it every day. So maybe that's the reason. So it's like, oh, let's have the game at the Den because that'll be better for us. I don't know, but maybe they're just trying to mess with Cardiff, trying to get some kind of advantage over them, anything they can do just to mess up the team that's absolute juggernaut of steamrolling all the teams in the division, only conceding 5 goals in 11 games. Absolutely fantastical. So we will see. So that's penciled in for Friday. Tyler Burey set to be involved in that game, so maybe it was for that reason as well. They wanted to get him in the match sooner rather than later, so they moved it forward for that as well. Wouldn't surprise me, to be honest with you. So there you go. Yeah, I think that's it for today's video. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.